A very good morning to you, viewers. I am wekwaSvosve with the Global News Bulletin. Here are the headlines. Almost every nation has gone under lockdown following the COVID-19 pandemic, including Zimbabwe, with only 2 cases and 1 death. US President Donald Trump has said his decision to reopen business in a few weeks' time should be considered as sagacious. And Boko Haram has harvested nearly 100 civilians despite the concern of the world fighting against the invisible enemy, COVID-19. Now, the full stories in detail. South Africa is now the epicenter of the pandemic in the continent, as it was also the epicenter of HIV and AIDS, also regarded as the epicenter of xenophobia, also regarded as the epicenter of FIFA World Cup 2020, and a bunch of more unprecedented and severe, what word can I put here, which best describe the country? Which word? What? Okay, editor. The editor said, let's just leave it to the viewers to insert a word which best describe the country and comment. Meanwhile, the South African citizens and dwellers have been highly affected by this lockdown, which took effect today, the 26th of March 2020. This lockdown includes the restrictions to move around, to eat, and to make a call. These new restrictions were automatically applied after citizens and foreign nationals went on panic buying for the past 2 days, which left the grocery shops empty, so there were nothing else to buy which they can eat. The panic buying went on to an extent that all the airtime retailers ran out of stock. The Southern African naturally richest country with more than 60 minerals, but the most poorest in the whole world in terms of finance and economy, he has also been declared a national lockdown effective as from Saturday the 27th of March 2020 until further notice. This follows after a plea from the country's main opposition party leader Nelson Chamisa to imitate other nations' movement for the right against the COVID-19 caused by the Chinese virus. Oh, sorry, Mr. Editor. I'm sorry to viewers about that speech. I heard this from Mr. Trump, which I just said. Okay, we apologize to the Chinese nations for saying this is called the Chinese virus once it's coronavirus, and we apologize for this speech of the unwanted truth. Meanwhile, the Zimbabwean doctors and nurses have quarantined themselves at their homes, unwilling to go to work, saying that they were not prepared to fight against this disease due to lack of protection and protective clothing and testing kits. They also claim that they were neither educated about how to treat the disease nor given even face masks. Let us hear from our correspondent in Harare, who is online. Hello, reporter. Genius Studios reporter Ruben Garwe. Hello.
Yes, hello. I can hear you. Can I speak in Shona, but using some scientific words? Is there like quarantine, unprecedented, coronavirus, face mask, Donald Trump, sanitizers, Antonio Guterres, etc.? Because we couldn't find these words in our Shona dictionary.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay. Kuno ku Zimbabwe utachiwana wecoronavirus uri kufungidzirwa kunzi uchatekeshera nyika yese sekutekeshera kwakaita goridhe nengoda. Saka naizvozvo bazi rezveutano rakurudzira madhokotera ese kuti ashande nemwoyo wese pakurwisa chirwere ichi. Ndipo patangira bongozozo madhokotera abva angohenga mabhutsi pakarepo akati atendiko.
Wait a second, Robin. You say the doctors hang their boots?
Vahenga mabutsu.
How can they hang their boots as if they were footballers? Are they the likes of Lionel Messi and Kama Billiard and others?
No, avasi vatambi venhabvuvodo kungotaura utsumuni vadivikira kwandaita uku. Ndiri kuzama kuti vashandi vemuzvipatara vakanda matourist pass mushure mekunge pashayikwa zvakakwana zvekurapisa denda iri. Vatizve dai Donald Trump abetserawo nyika yavo nezvakadai ngema-face mask aya, magloves nemasanitizers kuti naivo vakukwanisa kurapa denda iri pamwe chete nekuzvidzivirira. Vatizve machina akazara manyika mavo akoniwa kuvapa kana matesting kits hawo, asi ndivo vakagadzira chirwere ichi kunyika kwavo. Woseke izvi naivo.
Sorry, pardon my manners, I just couldn't help it. You mean they are saying the Chinese invented this disease? On what grounds and to what benefits?
Hamuna chamunoziva ana mbudzi yadhura. Madhokotera ari kutoti dai World Health Organization kana iye Antonio Guterres we-UN wacho atipo kana mapamba zvawo kuvharisa kumeso sezvava kutetwa nevegogwe. Ndiri mutori wenhau weGenius Studios, ndiri munyasi meWilkins Hospital.
All right, thank you, Ruben. That was Ruben Garwe reporting from Harare, the Zimbabwean capital. Right, in translation of what he was saying, yeah, you can go ahead, translate, because I'm not really, he said, right, he said the Zimbabwean government has failed the he said the Zimbabwean government has failed the medical sector by unable to equip them to equip the health officials rather with the necessary equipment to fight the pandemic. So he said the US President and the UN Secretary General Kofi Annan are due to embark on a journey to Zimbabwe. What? Sorry? I can't hear you. Oh, sorry, Mr. Editor and viewers, sorry. The editor just corrected me. The UN Secretary General is now Antonio Guterres, not Kofi Annan, rather. Where was I? Pardon? Oh, journey to the west, to Zimbabwe. Right, Donald Trump and Antonio Guterres, they said in this translation of this shown language, Ruben Barwe said they say they are bringing Pampers to Zimbabwe to use as face masks to the doctors, for the doctors rather. So, in other news, the US President Donald Trump is scheduled to reopen business by the beginning of April, despite the rapid spread of the coronavirus in the States. The United Nations has won the title of the global epicenter of the pandemic following a hike in the number of infections across the states. He said he just can't allow the Chinese to win this time, as they won before on the G5 network on the Huawei mobile. He regarded this global pandemic as World War III. Be careful on those words. But I'm just saying it's from Donald Trump. He said he cannot watch his economy fall like hailstones. He said he is sacrificing the American people for the best of the economy. Whew. Yeah, that's a sacrifice. Okay, let's carry on. And concluding this bulletin, the United Nations Secretary General similarized Boko Haram with the coronavirus COVID-19 because the Islamic militant group is claiming almost 100 lives a day, just as the coronavirus. He then named Boko Haram to be COVID-20 as its new name with immediate effect. So for this and more, just log on to our YouTube channel, Genius wekwaSvosve Studios, and then subscribe. See you at 8 with more news in a Corona language. Goodbye.